Anxiety is just where we get lost in our thoughts. We're panicking usually about the future. That's what anxiety is. So if you can bring yourself into your body, into the moment, through the breath and through being mindful, you literally like stop anxiety. It can't happen. At least in that moment that you're being conscious and that you're being mindful. Hey guys, it's Amity Rose from AmityRose.co. I am a women's empowerment coach and certified hypnotherapist. Today, I wanted to share with you 4 practices to help you heal anxiety naturally. I myself had anxiety really bad the last few years, especially around money. And I had a panic attack a couple years ago and it was awful. I mean, it was dreadful. It's bad. So these are some ideas that, and even if you don't have anxiety, you could really bring these into your life just to be more in a relaxed state. So they're definitely good for anyone, but they're especially good if you're trying to heal anxiety spiritually, you're trying to heal it naturally, and I'm going to share those with you today. So the first antidote to anxiety is relaxing. You actually can't hold 2 states at the same time. You can't be in anxiety and be relaxed at the same time. They can't exist in the same space. So if you're actively practicing being relaxed, and that's gonna be really the best way is breathing. It's gonna be to consciously take on a breath practice. So one of my favorites is soft belly breath. And there's tons. I've got a video here if you wanna check it out on breath practices to reduce stress. And it's the #1 way to get your body in a relaxed state. And then that's gonna counteract your anxiety, because like I said, you can't be in a panic, stressed out state if your mind and body is relaxed. They cannot exist in the same space. So if you're doing things like breath work, which is the #1 way to get you into a relaxed state, it's gonna automatically reduce any kind of panic attacks or anxiety that you may have. So just start a conscious breath practice every day whenever you can. Sit and breathe on purpose. Relax the body, relax the mind. And what happens is this begins to repattern the nervous system. So you're actually less likely to feel stress and anxiety the more that you're working on your breath. The second idea is you want to practice presence. So this is very similar to being mindful. You're aware and you're in the moment. You're not lost in thoughts, you're not being distracted, but you're actually in the moment. So again, practicing this with a breath practice, you can sit, or you can practice this actually like while you're still living. Like let's say you're doing the dishes. Are you feeling the water on your hands? Are you feeling the soap? Are you feeling your hand touching the sponge, touching the plate? Like, are you in that moment and nowhere else? Essentially, that's what practicing being present and mindfulness is all about. Again, back to #1, you can't hold opposite states in the same space, in the same moment. So if you are being mindful, if you are being present, it's gonna get accumulated and it's gonna start to add up. So if you're working on your breath and you're working on being present, you are growing and developing and strengthening this muscle, which literally like pushes out anxiety. There's no space for anxiety to be because you strengthen the space of being relaxed and being mindful. Anxiety is just where we get lost in our thoughts. We're panicking usually about the future. That's what anxiety is. So if you can bring yourself into your body, into the moment, through the breath and through being mindful, you literally like stop anxiety. It can't happen. At least in that moment that you're being conscious and that you're being mindful. So just begin to practice whatever you're doing in that moment. Do it wholeheartedly. None of this multitasking garbage. Like, we're not meant to be multitaskers. We're meant to do things on purpose, single focusedly. And what that does is literally eliminates the space for anxiety to come, because it's a state that we create with our thoughts. And then that manifests in the body. And that's a very real, scary experience for a lot of us. But it comes back to the mind. It comes back to the mindset. So if you can change the frequency and the vibration of the body through the breath and through being mindful, that will require the body to respond differently. You're not going to be so neurotic. You're not going to be so frantic. So the energy of an anxiety or a panic attack literally can't exist because you have now relaxed and decreased that neuroses and excessive thought patternings that go with being in an anxiety state. So these 2 things, being mindful, practicing your presence, and then having a breath practice Hell, even if you just stop and take some deep breaths throughout the day, that can potentially really help you to heal anxiety spiritually or naturally, just by being aware and taking long, slow, deep breaths throughout your day. You're essentially telling the body, because anytime you take a slow, deep breath, you are telling the body, I am safe. There's nothing to panic about. You're safe. So the breath literally is the language of the body that says I'm safe. No need to panic. So I don't know if you notice, but when you're stressed out or we're having a panic attack or feeling anxiety, the breath is very short. We breathe very shallow. So anytime you can really get into the lungs and get a long, slow, deep breath, I want you to think of it. That equates you telling the body, I am safe. We are safe. No need to panic. No anxiety needed here. And then, like I said, that starts to accumulate. Over time, the body registers more often, okay, we're safe. There isn't a need to panic. So these two alone, and again, you don't even have to deal with anxiety or panic attacks. This can transform your life, even if those things aren't an issue for you. The third idea is pretty super important, and it does cost some money, but I want you to get body work done every single week. And if you can't do it weekly, at least once every other week. So that would be twice a month. And what I mean by body work is going to be acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, an energy worker, craniosacral therapy, anything where somebody is actually working on your body to move out things that are stored in the tissues and the muscles, because we have a lot of stored emotions and trauma that haven't been processed, and we literally store them in the body, and they stay there. They can actually be the source of anxiety and panic attacks for us. So as long as you can get someone's help to move that actually out of the tissues, out of the cells, out of the muscles, then that can go and move into the system so that your organs can release it and flush it out however it feels it can. So this is super important. Deep massage is going to be really helpful. Like I said, acupuncture, craniosacral, anything you can think of where somebody, Ralphing, that myofascial release, anything like that, where somebody is really working into the body and really moving out stuck energies. That is what you want. Reiki sessions can also be really helpful because that moves energy. Tapping can help. Anything that is working with the body system to move out that stuck energy. That's going to be super important to healing anxiety naturally and spiritually, because you're working with the energy lines of the body. You're working with the body itself. So you're bypassing the mind. And that's really, like I said, that's where anxiety lives. It's a result of our thoughts, right? Usually obsessing about something in the future. So if you bypass the mind and you go straight to the source, the body, where the stuck emotions, the stuck traumas, the unprocessed stuff that we have in the body, you can get someone to help you work on that and work it through. That will help reduce the chances of you having panic attacks and also developing or experiencing anxiety in the future. So the fourth idea is just as important, and it's something that you can do at home, and that's going to be moving your body, and not just in any way. I'm talking about shaking, rolling on the ground. If you can imagine that you're on the ground just lying on your back, and then you'll flip over on your belly, so you'll do it on both sides, but literally just flopping. So your body's flopping and it's hitting the ground. So it's like a thump, really, and it's amazing. And it sounds uncomfortable, but it's not. So you'll do like 3 minutes on your back, and you're just gonna thump the body. And what that is doing, very similar to the body work, is moving out the stuck emotions, the unprocessed stuff that we have. Especially ladies, we store a lot of stuff in the pelvic region. So really kind of thumping that area. This has numerous benefits. It improves digestion, loosens the muscles. I mean, there's a slew of wonderful things that it does. But for this purpose, it's really going to be beneficial to you to release out things that are stuck in the body. Again, we're bypassing the analytical mind. We're going straight to the source. So you're going to be thumping 3 minutes on the back, and then you're going to do 3 minutes on the front. And then also after that, or you can do it separate times, is shaking. You're gonna shake yourself. You're gonna jump, you're gonna shake. And it's the same idea. What we're doing is we're literally shaking loose these parts of ourselves that maybe just got blocked or stuck along the way that are contributing to our stress, to our anxiety, and our panic. So this is a phenomenal way for you to heal your anxiety spiritually or naturally. These 4 ideas, again, let me just tell you, you don't even have to have anxiety to do any of these practices. They will change you. They will change your life if you do them. You don't need to have an issue, but to breathe better, to be mindful, they will change you. All right, guys, head to my website for more information, my offerings, amityrose.co, and I will see you next week. And if you can't do it weekly, at least twice a week. And if you can't do it weekly, at least twice. The 4th idea, and if you can't, the 4th idea is, and what that is doing is